Ever get the feeling you're being watched online? It's data brokers. They collect your personal info, your browsing habits, where you live, and who you're related to, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Aura helps stop that. Aura automatically removes your personal info from data broker sites and keeps it off. It also monitors the dark web, protects your devices, alerts you to real-time threats, and more. Start your free trial at aura.com/listen. That's AURA.com/listen for your free trial.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
What is up, folks? Welcome into the show. It's July 4th. Happy Independence Day. If you are in the United States of America, thanks for tuning in with me today as well. So you're enjoying your day off of work. I'm still working. I'm trying to grind those dynasty ranks out. Rankings, man, I always breathe a big sigh of relief when they're done. The prospect ranks are done. Dynasty ranks are close. Not saying they're all the way done. I'm going to try to have them done tonight. So working through that to get them done and out to you guys so you can start making those moves this weekend and get the guys that you need to add to your rosters. We're doing a mailbag episode today and talking about your questions, prospects, some rankings changes, all those things. We'll be talking about them on the show today. But first, this episode is brought to you by Connect Roasters. Connect Roasters is Ian Happ's coffee company. It's incredibly good, incredibly smooth. They've got all sorts of blends and brews. Now they have canned cold brew, and it's great. Got some, you should go check it out. ConnectRoasters.com. You can get the Gold Glove Blend, Ian Happ Specialty. Buy one bag, get one 50% off using the code Dynasty Dugout at checkout. You won't regret it. Also, we're proud to partner with Chinook Seedery, best seeds in the game. Chewing on some jalapeno ranch. They got a good little kick to them. Like those a lot. There's lots of good flavors with Chinook. They got some sweet ones. The cinnamon toaster, great. That's kind of my go-to. So there's a lot of good flavors. You can get 10% off your order using the code Dynasty Dugout at checkout. So we're going to answer your questions. We've got some from the Discord. Thank you for being a member of the Dynasty Dugout. If you're not, hey, guess what? Today's a great day to do so. You can click the link in the description and you can get a year $17.76 off. You get it. It's about 22% off for a year. So it's a good deal. It supports local and independent content. I'm grinding at the ball field regularly, try to bring you the best content, getting data, all that sorts of stuff. So I appreciate what you're doing. So couple questions from the Discord, actually more than a couple questions and some from the Twitter machine as well. This one from Connor. Connor's doing some good work up in the Northeast League for us, the Chesapeake, not Bowie, Bay Sox. He says, from a strategic perspective, who's the guy you'd be targeting hardest right now because your valuation is much higher than public consensus? And the inverse, who are you pushing hardest to sell because the public is valuing them way too high? Well, for me, this one's the sell's much easier. Like if I go to my rankings, like the sell for me is Franklin Arias. People are obsessed with Franklin Arias. I sit on Franklin Arias nightly. I like Franklin Arias. I really do. But a lot have him top 10, and I'm not there on him. So Franklin Arias is a clear sell for me. And you may ask, why is that? Well, I mean, in reality, like Arias is a great player. Like he has otherworldly contact skills. His contact rates have been great, especially jumping to high A. Like we're looking at like a 92% overall contact rate in high A, which is kind of dumb. He's aggressive. He's prone to a little bit of chase, but it's not bad. And he's just not missing it all. Like it's not a bad thing, but there are some flaws with the profile. And one being that he's taken a step back power wise. Like you have to address that and say the EVs have taken a step back. And last year, Arias was 18. I think he ran a ninth percentile of like 102.5. That's taken a step back. So when you look at this profile, yeah, it's probably a 60 hit tool. And you might say, why is the hit tool not higher? Well, you got to factor more in just the contact skills when we're talking about hit tool. And the angles aren't great. There's a lot of ground balls. And honestly, a lot of his fly balls are kind of bloops. He's got a high like pop-up rate. You see a lot of pop-ups. And a lot of his singles are honestly like dinks in just over the infielder's head. And this is like, again, somebody I'm sitting on every night. I've got the data for it. And Arias is good. I think Arias is a great player. I think his only tool that's above average is the hit tool. I think his glove's average. I think the power might be average, maybe below average. I think you can probably look at him and say like, all right, he's kind of already filled out. He's not a good runner. I know everybody looked at the stolen bases last year and were like, whoa, dude, he's not. He's below average clock times. Like I've got the actual speed times on him. And from a stolen base perspective, he's 5 of 9 in high A. It's not good. He's not going to get the green light. So, when we look at this, the whole profile, Franklin Arias is a good prospect. I think I'm around 50, but people have him top 10 and I'm not there. So that's an easy sell for me. All right. So now I got to figure out the buy. This one's a little harder for me. Let me look at my rankings. And honestly, Connor and others listening, like I don't do a lot of looking at other people's rankings just from a general standpoint of I don't want any bias to like come in. So I'm kind of guessing that I'm higher on Josue Briseño than most. I'm 19. I like Briseño a lot. I mean, I did since last 2024 spring training and saw him in the AFL. And obviously that's when he got really buzzy. But I would say that he's a solid buy, like Josue Briseño. I'm still high on Braden Montgomery. He's sitting 22 for me. And Montgomery's I think he's just going to put it all together. He's a good athlete. He's got a cannon of an arm. He's got pop. Questionable contact, but it's inconsistent. Like he's shown at times that he can have really good contact skills. So Braden Montgomery's a good buy. Like looking at some others in the rankings, I don't know where other people have a lot of these guys. I think Alex Freeland's still a buy for me. Like he's sitting 50 right now. And I think people have kind of soured on him. He statistically had a bad month in June. He's on a team like the Dodgers, but under the hood, everything improved in June for him. And I look at Alex Freeland and yeah, it's hard to find a spot, but actually like look at this infield in LA. I think you can find a spot and they've given guys chances. I think we look at the Dodgers and say like, they haven't given prospects chances. Well, they have. I mean, they gave Gavin Lux a huge runway. He just didn't run with it. Andy Paz is thriving right now. They have given prospects opportunities. It's just, there's not always a great fit, but I actually think there is a good fit with Alex Freeland. I think I may have found my favorite buy. It's probably Alfredo Duno. I think Duno might be a baller. He's in single A. He's young. He's swinging it exceptionally well. And does he stick behind the plate? Like, I don't really know, but the bat's going to play. I mean, this is a young kid that just hits the cover off the ball. And the data's exceptional. It's a 91 mile an hour average EV. It's a 17% chase rate, which is incredible. But not only does he not chase, he has great zone swing rates. His zone swing rate's 70%, which is really high. His heart swing rate's really high. The launch angles do need to improve. Like, I think that's really the biggest thing is we need to get more consistent launch angles. But I like Duno a lot. And I think he's really going to take off. He's running a 98 mile an hour average EV on line drives, which is awesome. He's pulling nearly 50% of his fly balls. Like, those are awesome things to see in the profile from a young kid. And I'm very excited about this profile. So Alfredo Duno, solid buy for me as well. Thanks for the question, Connor. Wotan says there seems to be a lot of excitement for the Brooklyn Cyclone squad last month, specifically AJ Ewing, Jack Winninger, and Will Watson. What caused their drop in the rankings in July? Is the initial analysis changed or have other prospects outperformed them? So I need to go and look at the rankings on this one and how they moved. So I can easily tell you that Ewing dropped because he's not gaining any power. Like the power is just zapped and he's not putting any balls into play like overly hard hit. Ewing's got speed. He's got a decent approach, but honestly, like AJ Ewing I don't know if he's going to get to the power. And so I did drop him. He's still ranked 150, so it's not really bad. I would say that's like still a decent spot to be. Winninger, I actually moved up. So he jumped from 223 to 205. So didn't drop him. And actually, I think Will Watson stayed pretty stagnant. Will Watson moved up 22 spots for me based on some of the underlying pitch data. Will Watson's got pretty good stuff, and it's not really talked about enough. So, Ewing dropped because there's no power, but Eli Serrano also dropped. Underlying data was really good early for Serrano and kind of taking a step back. So, yes, there were a couple that dropped, but Winninger and Watson actually moved up. So, yeah, that's to answer that question. So, Chandler says more of a meta question, confidence level that the probable future second base in the minors will revive the position. Second base is bad. Like if you go and you look at the Razzball Player Rater is probably the best resource for looking at like how players have performed from like a fantasy perspective. Second base is awful. You probably wouldn't guess that Brandon Lau is the number one second baseman right now. Ketel Marte. And then it's like Bryce Terang, Michael Garcia, Gleyber Torres, Nico Horner, Altuve. I think Jazz is 8. I bet he jumps. Luis Garcia, Otto Lopez is bad, guys. Very, very bad. Your hope is that some of these shortstops move off and move over to second base. Kevin McGonigal, that's your hope. McGonigal's playing short, but I think he ends up at second. He's a top prospect. I still believe in Travis Bazzana. You've got Luke Keeschel. You've got Arun Escobar, Michael Arroyo. Franklin Arias may play some second. Again, like it's still not deep. Like I look at these names and it's like, I know a lot of people are back on the Tamar Johnson train. I'm not. It's just much more of the same that it was last year. So I'm not in on Tamar Johnson. He's ranked like 120 for me. I like Demetrio Crisantes out for the year. Unfortunately, it doesn't look good from players that are playing second base right now. You have a couple players. You're like, okay, let's hope that this can work out. But I don't know. Like, I think you're looking at it and you hope, again, some of these shortstops move off the position. I was kind of look and see if there were any that I thought might move off. Let's see here. Filtered by shortstops. Connor Griffin, probably no. Meyer, maybe. Walcott, no. Made, probably not. DeVries, maybe, but probably not. Weatherholt's a possibility, so you could see Weatherholt over there. Maybe not. He may play third, short. Luis Pena could play second. Don't think Bryce Rayner is. I don't know. I think Angel Henao could be one. So, yeah, there are some guys, but second base, it's not good. It's not good for fantasy, and I don't think there's a lot of excitement in the minors as well. All right, so Tim R., he asked, meta question number 2, will the incoming draft class add some much-needed juice to the hitters in general? Seems the arms are popping up at higher rates this year, and that's not good for fantasy purposes. Yeah, it's actually interesting. The last few years, even in the majors, I've found that it's pitchers that are popping up, and the way to go is to draft a lot of bats early. So, like, you almost have to in order to get what you need. Because you can pick up pitchers off the wire. Like there's guys that pop up and are valuable. Obviously, they're not your aces, but there are certainly, pop-ups. Hitters, man, it's not been great. I think you haven't had a lot of breakout hitters in the minors, but you've had some guys that are steady, which is good. Roman Anthony stayed steady, he debuted. Kevin McGonigal's gotten better. Connor Griffin got better. Marcelo Meyer. There's not like the huge pop-ups, I guess, per se. A lot of them that are at the complex and have gone to single A haven't had enough time there. I know there's a lot of infatuation with Nate George. I get it. I love Nate George in the draft last year. Devin Fitzgerald, another one I liked pre, the season, all that stuff. but they need to see more time and more experience before I'm willing to go in on these guys, because there are some flaws that I still think need to be addressed. So there's some guys like that, but ultimately, like, you're right. I don't see a lot of big risers as far as the hitting prospects go. I would say Sirota was a good breakout. Carson Benj was already a borderline top 100, but he's taken a good step forward for me. Sal Stewart's been kind of steady, but he has again progressed. Carter Jensen's been pleasant. Edward Florentino, but again, that was one that in spring training that I said was going to break out. Cal Caros just looks like a dude. He's almost in my top 100. Esmeralyn Valdez is a good breakout. Marco Dinge is a good breakout. But there are a lot of pitchers that really pop. So when we look at the draft class, I'm not confident in it, honestly. And let me put a caveat on this, because a lot will change from today, July 4th, to September. Like, there's going to be guys pop. There'll be guys that pop next spring. So I think we have to look at that and say, like, yes, like, there will be guys that pop off. The prep hitters, the prep hitters that I like the best personally aren't the ones that are going to be drafted the highest. And maybe I'm wrong on that. Like, JoJo Parker's probably my favorite prep hitter. I don't think he's going to go top 5. I think he's going to go, 8 to 15 range. And I think he's trended upward for sure. I like JoJo Parker from an upside standpoint. Take the shot and see where it goes. Man, I'll tell you what, the Red Sox have been all over the Gavins. I think they're going to land one of the Gavins. It's either Gavin Killen of Tennessee or Gavin Feen of Prep Ranks, a California bat. Both those guys I like a lot. So those aren't going to be like super high-end guys. And some other bats like Kason Cunningham is a very high hit tool. But again, I'm kind of just risk adverse with some of these prep hit tool guys. Because remember, Tamar Johnson was labeled a 70 hit out of high school, and he's like a 40 hit now. So that's a little bit concerning. I actually like Daniel Pierce a lot. He's one that I could see kind of taking a step forward. So there are guys to like. I think that they're going to be good values in FYPD. I'm not going to rank like a lot of the hitters, like the ones that I rank high. And maybe I should just put them high and not like kind of go. They're just not going to be drafted high. I like Brandon Compton a lot. He's going to go back into the first, probably. I like Devin Taylor a lot. He'll go back in the first comp round type. So Alex Lodice, yeah, he's one that I like. We'll see. I think it's going to be an interesting draft. I have no clue how it shakes, to be honest with you. So could it infuse some offense? Sure. But I don't know. Like, I look at some of these guys like Ivar Arquette, might be just better defensively. There's some whiff in the profile. Ethan Holiday, like, I don't like the profile at all. And maybe that ends up looking bad. I don't know. Like, I'm just not high on Ethan Holiday. I think there's more name value there than anything. Eli Willits is smooth. He's a smaller guy for fantasy. Like, I'm just not sure how it plays. Billy Carlson is like a really good glove where, I don't know, maybe he could develop a really good bat combo. I like Carlson. I'm not like overly high on him. Merrick Houston, glove first, no power at all. Steele Hall, and that's an interesting one where he could kind of pop off. Brendan Summerhill, I like. Veva Aloy, like, I don't know. It's just an interesting crop of college bats and prep bats where I'm just like, we'll see. So I'm not overly confident that we infuse more good bats into the prospect ranks. SPP asks, why do you hate Slade Caldwell now? Caldwell is interesting. He has really slowed down recently. You look at the numbers and they've kind of taken a step back. At the end of the day, like, I like Slade. I think he's a good player. He's also gone to high A, and there's been some struggles. I think we need to see him, adjust back. But he's been striking out way more than we like to see. The strikeout rate has blossomed. And I know you look at it's like 24% in high A, but I don't know. There's more whiff than I think underlying than suggests. And the batted ball angles are not good. 58% ground ball rate in high A. It's like Slade can definitely run. And he was kind of getting some juice early, but it's really kind of a slash and dash profile. And at the end of the day, I'm curious how that plays. He's going to be better than what the high numbers say right now. So I'm not overly concerned about that. But, Caldwell's fine. Just outside my top 100. Could he get back in? Absolutely.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4th of July sale and get 30% off paints and stains June 27th through July 7th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
SPP also asked, and then independent of ranks up and down, favorite Orioles prospect so far and the biggest O's prospect disappointment. Okay, so SPP is a big Orioles fan. The Orioles have had a ton of pitching prospect breakouts. Like when you look at the breakouts, and I mean, Trey Gibson, Braxton Bragg, like there's a lot of names here where it's like, yeah, these guys have really popped, and it's been super encouraging to see. I was going to pull up their top prospects because that org, I'm not going to sit here and say they're like an elite pitch dev org or anything of that nature, but they have done a really good job. And I think you have to look at Trey Gibson and say, this kid was an undrafted free agent and he's really, really popped and been awesome. So you've got Esteban Mejia, who everybody's all over now too, where it's like, yeah, there's definitely some pop-ups, breakouts where it looks awesome. Braxton Bragg, probably my favorite. Braxton Bragg, the fastball's ticked up substantially. He's reaching triple digits regularly. It's got good shape on it. He's got a nasty splitter, a good breaking ball. He got hurt, but he's back. He has a 1.68 ERA in 59 innings, 77 strikeouts to 17 walks. Braxton Bragg has been awesome. So he's been really encouraging to see. I'll tell you another one that I watched when he was in single A. That's Sebastian Gongora, a lefty. He was out of Louisville. He's a little bit older, 23. He's now in high, but he's an interesting prospect where he has taken a step forward. And I'm like, yeah, there's certainly things to like here in Gongora's profile where I was kind of intrigued. And so he's certainly one to watch. I mean, this one doesn't count as a disappointment because he hasn't pitched much in regular season ball. It's Keeler Morph, but when I saw him in spring, he was just all over the place, zero command. Esteban Mejia, where he's valued right now, is where Keeler Morph was at the end of last season. He got a lot of buzz, and we've seen where that went. Injuries and command, not good. I think you would have to say the bats have been the disappointing ones. Like, you look at some of the names, Vance Honeycutt's been atrocious. He struck out 41% of the time this year. The contact rates are abysmal, and he's just not doing anything you want to see. Honeycutt has a good glove. He's got tools for days. He's probably a 70 outfielder. He might have 70 speed. He's got above average juice, but the hit tool, probably one of the worst in the minors. And it's just not going to work. I mean, his contact rates suck, and it's killing him. And so Honeycutt's a disappointment. I would also have to say, like, a personal disappointment for me is Austin Overn, who's been fine. I just loved Overn when I saw him in the spring. Like, those guys you watch, and it's like, man, like Austin Overn could really take off, and he just hasn't done that. He's been up and down, in all honesty. He's running a 701 OPS. He does have a 110 WRC plus, but it's come with a 29% strikeout rate, which is concerning, and a sub 70% contact rate. So Overn, a little bit concerning there. So yeah, those are kind of my disappointments, I guess. So those were the questions that I had gotten from the Discord specifically to ask. I actually had a couple more in the DMs. I do need to pull up the DMs and see, because I remember having a couple there. My friend Dan, who I hung out with in Charleston a couple of weeks ago, he asked this. He says, is Chase Davis still a hold in a hitting deep league? I'm losing patience. Anything in the underlying data that still gives you hope? Chase Davis is a disappointment for me too. So I hate to tell you that. In a deep hitting league though, like, I don't know, maybe you hang on because there's some power. He's definitely got power in the profile. The speed, it's average. The hit tool, bad. I think you're looking at it probably a 40 hit right now. Maybe it's just above average power. Maybe it's, I don't know. I just kind of look at Chase Davis right now and think that it's not the buzz that it once was. his draft year at Arizona was amazing. As I love Chase Davis. He put up some of the best data in the draft. And again, it's just kind of proven it's a hard transition. Now, Davis is 23 and a half. He's in AA. His time hasn't run out. His batted ball angles have gotten worse. You look at those, it's just inconsistency. A lot of balls on the ground, not good. Lots of pop-ups. I don't know. I'm not really in. Chase Davis was a big faller for me. You say deep hitting league. I don't know. It depends on who else is out there. I'm not opposed to saying, hey, if there's a pop-up prospect that's breaking out, I'll gladly drop Chase Davis. He's just not the profile that I really want right now. It's okay. It's not great at all. And then another question from Dan. He asked about Edgelin Perez. Perez is fascinating. Really caught my eye last year at the complex where he was awesome. Awesome to see. He has been tremendous. And he hasn't translated that as much to single A. I mean, the power's lagged. Like, the EVs have taken a step back this year. It's a 101 90th. It's an 87.5 mile an hour average EV for Edgelin Perez. 105 max. That's not good. You got to see higher than that. The contact's still good, and the approach has been incredible. And that's what I saw last year. It's a 14% chase. It's a 70% end zone swing rate. So you like to see that. The contact skills, very good. 80% overall, 87% end zone. That's been awesome to see. It's inconsistent launch angles. It's a lack of barrels. Is like 3% barrel rate, 2.5%. Launch angles are just inconsistent. Lack of hard hit balls in the air. Obviously, need to see a little bit more of that. And we'd really like to see Perez pull the ball in the air more often. That's something that he is not doing. So I want to say, if you want to drop him for Sir Jamison Jones, you can. I have Edgelin a little higher, but either way, like, I don't think you can go wrong with dropping them. They're both just flyers at this point that I would use as a cycle spot. So that's where I am on those guys. Let's look at some Twitter questions I did get from X, excuse me, whatever you want to call it, but I did post there. If anybody had any questions, I would answer them. Jim, he says, my problem is deciding on rostering my prospects as they are being called up. How many major league at-bats do you give a prospect before you give up on them? I'm trying to decide if I should burn or hold Luis Matos. This is a difficult question. It's different for every player. I think we can say assuredly at this point, the transition from AAA or even AA to the majors this year, or this point, is the gap is bigger than ever. Major league pitching is harder to hit than ever. It's a tough transition. Matos, I mean, can we sit here and say he's a quad A guy? I don't know. He makes a lot of contact. That's been the consistent thing. Matos has run very, very good contact rates. The approach is bad, though. We've seen a lot of chase. That's not what we want to see in the profile from Matos. We've actually seen some pretty respectable exit velocities. Like, when you look at them, it's like, okay, like, these aren't that bad. You look at the chase rate. Yeah, that's something we want to see improved. You want to see certainly some things cleaned up a bit. Can he actualize some of the exit velocities, though, like into, more game power? And I think that's the question. Like, when we're looking and digging this profile with Matos, a lot of his balls on the ground. So that's obviously factors in. You see that and you're like, I don't know. He is running the career barrel rate in the majors at 3.6%. It is up to 7.6% this year. The hard hit rates are identical, though. Sure, the XBA is a little bit higher. That's fine. And the hard hit rate, 37.9%. It's fine. I would say it's different for everybody. And you have to base it on pedigree, too. Like, guy's a top prospect, give him a little more time. I'm willing to give Kobe Mayo a little bit more time because he consistently showed really good things in the minors. And not to say Luis Matos has not. Like, we've seen Luis Matos do good things in the minors, but also, like, at this point, I mean, Luis Matos is 23 and his AAA numbers still ain't great. Like, so at some point, I think you just got to move on. You hold guys that have pedigree, and everybody's different. Like, I think you have to look at the profile and say, like, what are they doing under the hood? Like, think back to Kyle Tucker's rookie year. Like, Kyle Tucker was terrible statistically, surface numbers. But under the hood, it was good. And you're like, Kyle Tucker's going to catch up. We know there's more here with Kyle Tucker. And he did. Now he's a superstar. So Luis Matos, probably burn. Not surprised, or wouldn't be shocked if you could find something better out there. Josh, he asked, in spite of a few rough outings, I'm surprised that TJ Nichols is still in AA. What's the outlook? I love TJ Nichols. I am a big fan. Saw him second week of the year this year, and he came out and he looked better than ever than I had seen. Why is he not in AA? Let's look at the rotation for AA Montgomery. There's just a lot of dudes there, honestly. It's a lot of bodies. They got Yaniel Correa back. They've got Brody Hopkins, Jackson Ballmeister. They've got Ty Johnson, Owen Wild, Duncan Davitt. Those are all starters there. And you can't bring up TJ Nichols to throw in the pin right now. And you look at this rotation in Bowling Green, and you've got Gary Gilhill. You got Santiago Suarez. You've got TJ Nichols. You've got Marcus Johnson, Garrett Edwards. They've got a lot of arms in the system. I would say the next progression we probably see is that we see Joe Boyle up. From there, who bumps from AA up? I don't know. Somebody in that rotation in Montgomery probably bumps to triple, and then it opens a spot. I think Nichols is probably your most ready. I love TJ Nichols. The owl looks really good. It's really good stuff. I was very impressed with how he came out this season, how he's looked. And you still look, I mean, yes, it's a 4.02 ERA on the year, but he's a 31% strikeout rate to a 5% walk rate. His xFIP is 2.95. That's incredible. So you like to see stuff like that. I've watched TJ Nichols a lot, and he's really, really good. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock in the fact that he's still in high A. I think he'll get the bump. I'm looking at the stuff here. I'm in on TJ Nichols. Keith, he says, I've got Wininger. Sandlin is a free agent. Purely from upside, which one do you prefer to hold? David Sandlin, the upside is tremendous and always has been. I said it last year. David Sandlin had the most upside. That's the most upside, but one of the highest upside arsenals of any pitcher in the minors. Because last year he had 5 pitches, and he had 5 like really good pitches. I said on David Sandlin starts where he had like 27 whiffs, 25 whiffs. Fastball's upper 90s. He's got a splitter. He's got a sweeper, a slider, a cutter. He's got a curveball. And we're seeing the command take a leap. He's been much better his last few times out. And you look at David Sandlin, and I'm back in. I was a little bit concerned he was going to the bullpen, and he still might. But if you want to bet on that upside, it's David Sandlin for me. Brian, he asked, can you go into the traits of Didier Fuentes' profile and why Atlanta pushed him up so quickly? Why did Atlanta push him quickly? I don't know. I think it was a terrible idea personally. Like, there was no reason to. They called him up 2 days after his 20th birthday. They've been aggressive with guys in the past, and you mentioned it, Strider, Schwellenbach, AJ Smith-Shawver. I think they stunted the growth of AJ Smith-Shawver. AJ was a different case. He was a high school arm. Strider, Schwellenbach, college arms that had TJ prior. They felt like they could push those guys. Schwellenbach had elite command. So there are examples. I think they broke AJ Smith-Shawver. He was finally coming around 2 years later this year. Unfortunately, TJ Fuentes, I don't know. I wish I had a good reason of why. Yes, they're hurting for pitching. They're one of the most injured rotations in baseball. But would Hurston Waldrop have given you similar output from a 20-year-old Didier Fuentes? Yes, just being honest. Would Nathan Wiles have probably given you a similar output right now? Yeah. Fuentes isn't ready. I love Fuentes. Long-term, I want to be in on Fuentes. But I just hope the Braves don't break him by doing this. He's got to stick at this point. The only reason he gets sent back down is if he's just terrible. And it's possible. I'm not ruling out that he could be sent back down at some point. But from a Arsenal standpoint, what does he bring to the table? Well, it starts with the fastball. Fastball is really good. And honestly, the stuff across the board is good. You're looking at a mid to upper 90s fastball with really good traits from a low release height. And he's got kind of adjusted arsenal. Last year, Fuentes was 94% fastball slider. He threw the splitter 6% of the time. It's a good splitter. I compared the splitter data. Comps really closely to Kevin Gausman, who has a really good splitter, one of the best in baseball. He doesn't throw it much, but there is a split in the profile that I like a lot. There still needs to be refinement with it. He probably needs to learn how to throw it for strikes more, but Fuentes has a good splitter. He's actually adjusted the breaking balls. Last year was more of a gyro slider. Now he's throwing a gyro, a sweeper, and a curve. Those are newer. The curve especially is a newer offering this year. But you look at the arsenal, and it grades out exceptionally well. Like Fuentes it's got stuff for days. And there are the traits there. There's the traits when you look and you say, like, what could this guy be? Could he push up like Schwellenbach did? I'm not going to say he's Strider because Strider became one of the best pitchers in the game. Schwellenbach, pretty dang good. I look at Didier Fuentes and I say, yeah, if he finds command, if he locates well, then he has the upside to be a top 20 arm in the game. The traits are there. A realistic ceiling, I mean, probably like top 10 arm in the game, but that's maybe not realistic ceiling. I think a realistic ceiling would be like a mid-rotation arm, and the more probable outcome is like a, I don't know, SP4-5, just given command. But I do think that Fuentes, again, he's 20. He just turned 20. He was 19 to start the year. 19 was all the minor league season. So it didn't make sense. But again, here we are. And the Braves, I'm afraid, will break another one. We got a final Braves question ended out from Philip. He asked, what are your thoughts on Diego Torrens, Gabriel Cesa, and Michael Martinez? So Torrens has been awesome. He's everything advertised. Sure, he hasn't hit a home run. There's power for days. He's like 6'4". He's absolutely jacked. He turned 17 yesterday. Happy birthday, Diego Torrens. This kid's got juice that may be 70 grade eventually. And the hit tool is showing to be pretty good. We're looking at good launch angles. We're looking at really good pull rates. We're looking at actually respectable contact. And that was the fear. Like, he's a big guy, long levers, 16-year-old. Like, how would that fare? He's looking really good. Now, we can't take a lot away from the DSL. I don't have any updated DSL data. I'm hoping to get that soon. I'll be able to help you out with some EVs and stuff. But Torrens has looked the part to me. I'm very excited about his potential. And I think he's one of the better prospects in the Brave system. Top 5. I wouldn't fault you for that. Gabriel Cesa is interesting. He's an outfielder. He signed last year and was bad last year. He's been good this year. There's a lot of DSL repeaters. It's hard to value because, again, they've got a full year in a major league organization, but Cesa's been good. And, I look at this profile and it's like, okay, what do we see here? Well, start like the frame, like you look at him, I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm struggling to find like a comp of a previous guy, but he's 18. He's listed 5'10", 166. I think he's maybe a little taller than that, for being honest, but there hasn't been a ton of power in the profile to this point. Something we would like to see further develop, but the batted ball angles have improved. That's been encouraging to see. Major improvements there, major jump in contact, good pull rates. It'll be fascinating to watch. So again, I'm not like, I don't know. I don't have like great insight until I actually see these guys come stateside unless I get some data. And I'm hoping to get some data. So I'll be able to help you out a little more. But then we've got Michael Martinez bumped from the DSL to the Florida State League. He's 18. He's an outfielder. He's probably the more interesting one to me. He's got a really good frame, listed 6'2", 175. Again, like projectability is the name of the game here. He's shown pop. He's shown major improvements with contact, with a lowered K rate, with an improved approach. A lot of things that you want to see. Good angles, checks a lot of boxes. And so this will be one that I'm really watching closely. This is Michael Martinez, the Atlanta Braves, 18-year-old, and he'll be 18 all year in the Florida Complex League. Like, if you want a prospect that could pop, might be Michael Martinez. Keep a close eye on him. That's it. Thanks for all the questions. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and take care.
If you're a podcast host, listen up. This one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle. And I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.